Welcome to this MRT News Channel special report coming from Whitechapel Stadium, the November 2017 General Staff Meeting. Good morning to all of you. My name is Scott Zofferman and welcome to this special November 2017 General Staff Meeting where the private portion just concluded. The GSM started approximately 3 hours and 15 minutes ago at 7 a.m. Eastern Time. The special time created to accommodate members of the Minecraft Rapid Transit server who live in the Asia Pacific area. The GSM notably did not have any premiere reviews, however it had several redacted topics, which is normal for most general staff meetings anyways, although some do in fact believe that the redacted topics may have something to do with the controversy that erupted earlier this week involving Mercury 203, the member who was permanently banned on Wednesday. As you can see, the staff members did the general staff meeting in Whitechapel Stadium, which is where the owner Frumple will be delivering his public portion address momentarily after the staff's break.
I made it.
And you can see the stage where Frumple will be delivering his monthly public portion address for the general staff meeting, where several players nervously await the results of things they submitted to the GSM, such as their projects or auctions.
Yeah, me too. That has happened to me before on some other server, but never on here. Alright, here we go.
Can someone wait
Hello.
for
Hello.
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 Hello. We all have arrived.
Hello, welcome. Welcome.
And the general staff meeting public portion is beginning
the
now.
rest of the staff to come in. I'm going to start recording in a sec.
Hiding place.
Alright. Now, before you start recording, I want to say...
have on a Sunday morning.
Alright.
Right.
I want to say...
A couple things beforehand. We have secret servers here, so if you try and attack at any time,
We'll be watching.
We will be watching.
Just before we start. Alright, just before we start, I'm just gonna say a big thank you to hosting the GSM on a better time for us in the
It probably
Asia
won't happen
Pacific.
again.
Yeah, probably.
So that's why, just saying, thank you for that.
We decided to just try it out and see. It worked out fairly well. I mean, Alec and Heaven were able to attend. Lala, we have no idea what happened, but yeah. So yeah, we might try it again, maybe in 6 months or a year or so. But we'll probably just stick with the regular time, or maybe adjust it a little bit to make it easier for everyone to attend. So.
All right.
Okay, I'm going to start the recording now.
All right, here you go.
Hi, Don.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Goodbye.
Hello.
First GSM, I wonder what's going on.
It's way too early.
Okay, so today is November 19th, 2017. This is the public portion for the general staff meeting for the Minecraft Rapid Transit server. This is a special Asia Pacific edition, of which it is, at least in my time zone, it is 7:21 a.m. and I woke up at around 2:30 a.m. to get to this meeting. So yeah. All right, so we got a few announcements to go over. Bring up my notes here. Okay, so first off, I'm going to announce the status of, I guess, the promotion of HVT 2011 and Onions. I have some feedback to give these to moderators probably after this meeting. but they will be both be promoted to full moderators, as I don't have any major concerns about their behavior as mods. So congrats to both of them. And I'll do the actual promotion afterward. I don't have time to run the command right now. The next thing I want to address, I did give a little reminder to staff with regards to how they're issuing warnings. I just gave them a reminder that if a warning is given to a player, they need to make sure that that player understands that they have been given a warning and understand why they've received the warning. I think staff have been a little bit negligent in that department, so if you are a person who's received a warning and you haven't gotten a proper explanation of that, please let staff know about that. The next topic I want to go over is how the featured page on the wiki was chosen. There was a bit of a discussion on Discord regarding this. The staff have discussed this, and what we're going to be doing is, on our end, we're going to set up a queue, basically a document, a Google Doc, that has a queue of basically wiki pages that we would like to present as a featured page. This will allow the staff themselves to comment and make sure that the page is worthy enough as a featured page, both in terms of quality and whether it's an appropriate event. The one consensus that we had in the meeting is we want to make sure that the pages reflect community events, and we do want to encourage showing pages that maybe are sort of underviewed or not as well known. So we will be, I think there's a balance between that and also the more popular pages or pages that describe the more popular things on the server. So we will be moving in that direction for that. Next up is a concern I brought up. I've listened to some members regarding basically from the last opening of the Eastern Line extension. There were some concerns about how fair basically how the stations were distributed amongst players. How we did it for the Eastern Line was if you were at the last GSM, the line was opened right after it. So if you were there, you could just rush in and get a station. That wasn't fair for people in other time zones or people who just happened to not be able to attend the GSM. So what we're going to do is for any future line extensions or new lines, we will be thinking of a different way, a more fair way of distributing these stations, probably by either like you have to submit a form or some other method. We will leave this process up to the line builder themselves, and later on in the meeting I will be announcing some extensions, actually 3 new memory line extensions that staff have proposed and have pledged to work on in the coming months. Next up is some discussion about the staff emergency channel and some controversy about that in Discord. There were some requests from players about adding a new general staff request channel because there was some confusion of what constituted an emergency. After some discussion, though, we've decided that we're going to keep the staff emergency channel for now. We do think that the definition of an emergency is it is well understood by most of the players on the server. It's just there has been a lack of clarification with regard to this. So what we'll do is I'll go and change the sticky post on that channel and clarify it a lot more. Probably list out things that either a list of things that are allowed on that channel and not allowed on that channel, and things that could be more easily dealt with by email. So I will work on that in the coming weeks or so. Next up is a question from Soa Puffball regarding the import of heads using the saved hotbar feature in Minecraft. We haven't had an official policy regarding this, but our position is that basically we as a server and the staff, we can't stop. There's no known way to stop people from putting in, say, like banned items using the saved hotbar. So what we're going to advise to players is basically you can import things like banners and heads or anything else that doesn't break the server. So it's up to you to come up with your own judgment of what that means. But basically, don't put in any sort of overpowered items or things that would potentially crash or lag the server. If you do that, obviously that's against the rules, against the rule of causing disruptions on the server. So use your best judgment there, and just don't break the server. So yeah. Wow, that guest is pretty obvious. You were just talking about that in the private portion. Okay.
I was.
Nice. Every guest ever.
Okay. But just for the people on the recording, the guest basically yelled, "Someone tell me where the airport is," in all caps. And that is a staple in the life of the MRT. Okay, next item I'm going to talk about is the water body names. Staff basically went through all of the suggestions and each lake one by one. We did not get a final name on all of the lakes, but we do have names for a lot of them. I'm going to list them out right now, orally. I guess maybe, I don't know if we can, I guess on the GSM results, I'll also post these on there, but, so going...
They are in relation to this map.
Yes. Please look on the map link that Chief has put on. You might want to put that on the in-game as well. Yeah. I'll wait for that link to show up before I start naming things. Okay. Yeah. So please open that document, and then I'm going to list out the lakes one by one, starting now. So water body number 1, we have agreed to name that Northern Ocean. Number 2 will be named the Hibernal Sea. Okay, hold on. Hold on one second.
So much anonymous people. I mean animals.
Oh my.
All right. Sorry, I just had to ban a guest there, but yeah. Okay. Going back here, for water bodies 3, 4, and 5, we weren't able to come up with any good names for those ones, or at least the suggestions weren't. We thought we didn't think they were good. So those ones will be left unnamed for now. We may come back to them later on, or we will continue accepting suggestions if you have any for those. And then water body number 6 is the Autumnal Sea. Number 7 will be Lake Capricorn. Number 8 had a lot of different suggestions, and I will consider that one to be a contested lake, so we have no name for that at the moment. We will continue accepting different suggestions for that as well. Water body number 9 will be called Deimos Lake. Number 10 will be called the Estival Sea. 11 and 12 will remain unnamed. Number 13 will be named Heart Lake. Number 14 will remain unnamed. Number 15 will be unnamed. There is no town around this particular lake, so basically if someone decides to build there, I think they would have pretty much exclusive naming rights on that one. Number 16 will be named Loch Lyman, as in Loch, I don't know. Number 7 will be named Elecna Bay because it's right next to the city that has the same name. 18 and 19 will be unnamed. Number 20 will be the Equinox Ocean. Number 21 will be, the tentative name right now will be Pearl Lagoon, but we're going to ask Nomads, who owns Pearl Coast, the city of Pearl Coast next to it, since he probably has the best claim to name that body. Number 22 and 23 are unnamed. Number 24 will be named Lake Dulwich. Number 25 will be named will be unnamed. Number 26 is a contested lake. Oh, is that a typo? It should be Lake Victoria, right?
Victoria.
Okay, so sorry. 25 will be Lake Victoria. 26 is a contested lake, so because there's a lot of different cities around that, so we're going to leave that unnamed for now. Number 27 is Vernal Lake. Number 28 will be Monterey Lake, or Bay, depending on what Yoshi wants. And 29 will be Lake Takahasan, based on the name of the nearby city. Oh, what's going on in...
We're working on it, Frumple.
Okay, I'll let you guys handle it.
Yep.
Oh, man. Okay, so moving on from those, again, once again, I'll reiterate, there are a lot of names that are still unnamed or contested, so if you have any additional suggestions, we will continue accepting them for now, but at the moment, we at least have names for a few of the lakes at the moment. To answer your question, Court, 26 does not have a name. It's considered contested because there were several suggestions around that. Okay, next up is another proposal from Soa Puffball regarding glider port rules. This one, basically what we're going to say is we're not going to make any formal rules regarding glider ports, but we will say that then in general they are allowed. So what I mean, to reiterate what I mean by glider ports, these are ports that are just for the use of elytra wings or elytra wing gliders. For people, basically they consist of a really high tower or a very high place where people can jump off so they can start gliding. And that is about the size that they should be. So obviously don't make them into humongous airports or airfields because that doesn't make any sense for this sort of port. But they should not be larger than, say, an average helipad, for example. So, but in general, these glider ports will be approved. You do not need staff permission for these glider ports. Next up is a worst scene rule proposal from Soso123. This proposal basically, to summarize it, basically wanted some sort of rule around war scenes that are within 300 blocks and to make sure that players have permission to make these war scenes. This proposal has been rejected because there are already rules in place regarding creating anything that generates any lag or cause undue harm to other players or their experience while they're flying around an area. Basically what we'll say is if there is a war scene that is too much or too laggy such that a lot of players are having difficulty navigating that area, then we will step in and ask that player to tone it down or remove a lot of the parts of that war scene. But if it is a case where only one player or a couple players are complaining about it, we will be less inclined to act in that case. Next up is some rules regarding schematic uploads proposed by Alfie Pops. Or it wasn't a proposal, it was mostly some questions of clarifying these rules since these have not been defined. With regard to this, I'm going to actually introduce a brand new general rule to the server. This is what I mean by general rule. This is akin to basically no griefing or no spamming. And this rule is basically no plagiarism. So the new rule, again, is no plagiarism. This basically means that any sort of copying of other people's work, like exact copying of other people's work and especially not taking credit for it and not giving credit where it's due, that is definitely not allowed. Staff have definitely frowned upon this in the past, but we're going to make this an official rule Basically, any sort of copying of others is not allowed on this server. In addition to that, one of Alfie's questions was around how large of a schematic can you do. Those are already limited. Obviously, the schematic uploader has a limit of 100 kilobytes, so there's a file size limit. But also, mods also have that limit of how many blocks they can manipulate at a time, and that is 150,000 blocks. So those limits are already in place. So when you're dealing with schematics, please keep that in mind and work within those limits. Now, if you do have a sort of, I guess I wouldn't say exception to this or work around this, if you have a really large project that is, say, has a bunch of multiple schematics put together, that's still allowed. Just keep that in mind when you're asking a staff member to do it, because they need to just let them know that it's actually in several parts. Last thing I'll probably mention about this is, yeah, so when it comes to things within schematics, there is nothing in there that prevents you from, say, putting in any banned items, such as like lava or command blocks from spacing a schematic. I know some players have already done so. Do keep in mind that staff will make some effort to check your schematic beforehand. Like they will actually count the number of blocks and see if you have any banned blocks in there. I will ask players though that if you are asking a staff member to paste a schematic, please let the staff know what you're actually pasting in. Staff do have a right to ask you what exactly is you want on the server, and they do have the right to refuse to paste the schematic if they suspect there might be something malicious there. So please keep that in mind. And that is the end of section 1. Moving on to section 2 with regards to roads. The B93 proposed by Heaven Angel has been approved. I don't know where that is. I guess I'll just read out numbers and do that. There were also two proposals, one for A road and one for B road, within the same area. I think this was east of Utopia, around where the A5 ends. One proposal from Time to Make My Moves is a proposal to extend the A5 further south, and the other one is from A line B54, which basically kind of does the same thing, but only is diverted to I think it's what town is it? I'm just trying to look it up.
Sagno, I believe.
No, as ZS12. Yeah. So we decided to basically combine these proposals together in a way, because we're also aware that there's another A5 proposal from Autobus that was submitted several months ago. So what we would like to do is we will be approving at least an A5 extension from where it is right now down to ZS12. Who builds this section? What we're going to do is Time to Make My Move and Autobus and A-Lion. We're going to ask them to work together on this and figure out who's going to build that portion. The rest of the A5 further south, that will need to be made into a separate proposal, which again we will leave Time and Auto, and if A wants to be into that, to discuss this.
Could I make a slight note on that?
Quickly.
Yeah, because last time it was already approved down to the central line.
So the thing is, this proposal was made many months ago, back in March, and we haven't really seen any progress on it. So that is why we are
also contained multiple roads, and the first one was finished somewhat recently, and I did get in contact with Robin about that back then, and I stated that I'd need a few months to get stuff ready to be able to construct the rest.
Yeah, that's
so
what I'm saying. Just chat to Time to Make My Move about it, because you're both proposing similar roads and come to a conclusion between yourself.
And keep in mind, we are only approving the very short part that goes from where it is now to ZS12. The rest of the A5, basically Time's proposal deviates differently from your proposal, Otto. So you guys are going to have to figure out which one you're going to go with, or if you can't come up with a solution, you could each propose different ones, and then we can consider it at a future GSM. The reason why I'm approving this small section is at least it will satisfy a Lions proposal for a B road to that town there, because I think at the very least, and both of your proposals actually agreed on, both Time and Otto's proposal actually have the same section. So that is why I'm approving this very small section first. After that, it'll be up to either of you to figure out what to do with the rest of the A5.
Okay, that's fine.
If it turns out you can't build the A5 in time, you could always, within the next few months, you could ask Time to build that section. But again, I'm going to leave that up to you guys to figure out.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll get in contact with T2. Time. I also call him T2, but yeah.
T2. Your time to make my move. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
So moving on to 3. Projects. There was some discussion about perhaps adding airport locations to the Dyne map. We're probably not going to do that because airports are pretty blatantly obvious on the Dyne maps. I'm not sure that the need for that, but we will be considering adding A roads as a hidden layer on Dyne map. So by default, it will be turned off. But if you go into the side menu on the Dyne map and check it, you would be able to see A roads in its own layer. This will be worked on by Chief and Gods, I believe. So we'll start with A roads. B roads might be added perhaps on a later date, but we're going to start with A roads. And personally, I am actually kind of curious of seeing this, because I'm actually curious of how far the A road network has actually extended all over the server. And I think it'll be useful for a lot of other people to see that as well. All right, moving.
To answer the question that is happening in Minecraft right now, the A roads will be done with kind of a darker cyan color, similar to the color that is used for the trustee rank.
Okay, cool. Okay, so the next 3 items are regarding the 3 new MRT line extensions. The first one we're going to go over is a proposal from Godzilla Train to extend the Zephyr line northward into the very northern parts of the server. That has been approved. I'm not sure. Gods, has an image of that extension been publicly shown to anyone?
Not publicly. I can get a link in a second if you want.
Okay, cool. I'll just keep going while you get that link ready. The next one is a proposal from AP Red to extend the desert line. It's called DLX in here. It's a first phase. This is the first phase that will extend the line further south through a lot of inactive towns and then westward to meet up with the Mesa line at M34, I believe. I might have got that. Yep, M34. Yep. So this has been approved. I think there might be a caveat regarding, what do we decide about the inactive town staff? Can't remember. It's not on the minutes here.
So there are a few inactive towns along these lines, both the ZNX and DLX1. I think the plan that we decided was that if the original mayors don't come back, that then these will be auctioned off along with the stations at line opening.
Yeah. So if the player who owns that inactive town does happen to come back, which has happened, doesn't happen half too often, but does happen, then the desert line will go through their town anyway. But yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much all I want to say. AP, I don't know if you have if the image of the desert line extension is also publicly available. If you could make an image or make that image publicly available, that would be good too. And the final one is regarding the forest line extension named Flex, proposed by Robin. So the original proposal that I had, or at least when I made my plans, was to have the forest line go through a bunch of mountains further east. It'll go south a little bit, then eastward toward the mountains. But on further review, and also considering a request from a currently inactive player, Yellow Witcher, they wanted the line to be diverted further south to connect with their town. Right now the town's kind of inactive, but we will still be connecting to that town, and the forest line will be diverted, will start further south toward the east. It will go through basically a valley between mountains, and then at the end of it, I'm going to leave up to Robin to figure out what would be best, but it'll eventually meet up with the jungle line, which should be crossing through that area whenever that's built. So Robin,
quick round of applause for the fact that we filled the server. We're at 40 now. Great job, everyone.
It went down.
No, he's back.
Oh,
Anyways,
yeah, it's back.
Wow.
Yeah, I will be.
Yeah,
I'll be.
I think the last time this happened is a long time ago.
This is a very this time zone really works well for this. Maybe we should do this more.
It requires you to wake up at 2:30, Fumble.
I don't know. We'll see. I will say. I mean, I could. Well, there are 29 people in Mumble too. I mean, I could increase the player limit, but that would require a restart. So I think 40 is kind of arbitrary because we never really reached this anyway. But yeah.
Fine.
Okay.
Achievements.
Good job, people. So yeah, back to the forest line. Yes, so it'll be diverted south. Robin, I don't know if you also can put up an image of that somewhere publicly, so people can get a sense of where this is going to go. But yeah, there are 3 new lines, hopefully. And again, once again, I'll remind people we're going to have a better way of distributing these stations. So watch out for that as these lines get completed. So. Christmas and winter events or holiday events are coming to the server. I'll just list up what we're going to do. Gods will be setting up a town decorating contest. This is going to be somewhat similar to the screenshot contest. So not exactly. It's not going to be a screenshot contest. It'll be strictly decorating. The prizes will be similar to the one for the screenshot contest. So first prize will get 10,000, second will get, I think, 5,000 or something like that. So what we'll do is for this contest, you will, if you want to go join in, you basically will decorate at the very least, a small localized area within your town. You don't have to decorate your whole town, so you can just decorate a small localized area. But if you want to decorate your whole town, you can do that too. The reason for this is and I believe this will happen to some players might also be in the city batch or city rank batch for senator or governor. So if they are in that and also want to be in the contest, this will ensure that staff don't get they will not count that decorated area in their review. Gods will be defining more of the criteria regarding this contest in the coming week or so, so watch out for that. But yeah, that is a new server-wide contest that'll be coming. Next up in this, there's going to be the usual stuff. Holiday spawn the spawn, our central city park will be redecorated for the holidays. There'll also be Christmas Island, where people leave presents for each other. Yoshi will definitely will be setting up that. We will be encouraging new events for the server. Off the top of my head, there will be the next Taco Burrito-a-thon held by Skilly Zomperman. The Amazing Race, whatever number it is now, 8, 7, I don't know, will be being held by Yoshi, or be run by Yoshi. And there may also be an Avella Expo run by LD Shadowload, another one in the coming month. But if you have any other further events that you'd like to propose and add to the events calendar, as well as get any grants for that, we are open for any of that. And this is probably the best time to do it because a lot of people will be on break. we'll be setting up some ranks also. I'm not sure. Tom and I have to figure out how to finalize that, but we'll figure something out. Also, the city rank batch, not this one, but the next one. This one will have a special ending date, or at least we'll initially have one for December 25th on Christmas Day. If for some reason that we don't have enough votes by then, we'll extend it off maybe a week or into January. But yeah, so again, the promotions for the next batch will be on Christmas Day. Another project that's AP Red's going to be working on a Christmas market somewhere on the server, probably somewhere in Central City, I believe. So this will be another community build, kind of similar to the MRT land. So watch out for more details regarding that. And yeah, we're not going to do street decorations, so I think that's about it. The next thing is, I know people have been asking about this. We're going to finally start construction on a third-party rail hub in Central City. The location of this hub is going to be changed. It's not going to be no longer in the World Guard region west of the city. We're going to choose a new location north of Central City, just south of Grayson. It's basically in a block there. I don't know if there's an image available of that, but I'll definitely be posting that in the GSM results. Castle will be the one mainly heading this project. This station will be mainly, at least for now, at least to start, will be serving only third-party warp rail services. Castle will be building common rails for these third-party services to, at least to the east, the west, and the south, and perhaps the north, depending on how we can go around Grayson there. And then the third-party rails will connect to those common rails. This will at least prevent all having separate tunnels for each of these third-party rails go into Central City, which would be kind of chaotic. More details about where these tunnels will be and how this station will be distributed will be coming from Castle later on, but at least the initial construction has been approved at the very least, and we'll hopefully get more details from this later on. Finally, on to section 4 regarding auctions. 4A, the town of Fenton, requested by Soso123. This has been denied because we just discovered that the original mayor, I don't have his name on here right now, I think it's Zafun Man, is actually active, or has recently come back active, as early as 2 days ago. So we're going to have to deny this request. If you'd like to talk with the mayor, Soso, you can do so directly. The next one is Wolf Peak, requested by Percat 2010. This has been approved. 4C is City Rail, requested by Castle. This has been conditionally approved. The condition is, considering that H&T is considered the caretaker of Frozen's city of Whitechapel, as well as technically his assets, we would like to. Castle will need to ask H&T if H&T is okay with this. If he is, then the City Rail ownership will be transferred to Castle. Next one is Pancake Place. This has been awarded to Psy Amethyst. And the last auction here is Mason City, requested by Alfie Pups. This has been denied. Alfie is a very new member on the server, recently unbanned even, and we would like to see Alfie build his own town first before giving the towns away. So. Number 5, actually I'm just going to look here. Oh, that's a redemption. I don't think I'll mention that. Number 6, that's redacted. Yeah, the last thing I'll probably say for this part is... Oh, well, there's actually one more thing. The next GSM will be we're going to try to have one in December, but I know that people's schedules are pretty, people are going home to families and all that sort of stuff during that time, or vacations. So I'm going to send a doodle poll to the staff and see if we can fit one in. If we can't, then the next GSM will be most likely early January or January. So, and the last announcement I want to make is regarding the results of the retail franchise mall building competition hosted by Frosty Creeper 10 and Co. This has been judged by London 150, Frog, and some other person that I can't remember the name of. I probably look it up here. Somebody. But so the results are as follows, and I will be giving the prize money later on, probably directly to the player. So I'll start from 10th. I will mention one thing. There was one thing that we were concerned about regarding this competition, because it was run by other players. It came to our attention that some of the judges in this competition actually competed in the competition as well, and that was not communicated to us by the organizers. I will say that this is not something that will be allowed for later on. I will be talking with. What I'm going to do is I'm going to announce the results now, but these may not be the final results depending on our discussions with Frosty. But the results that were officially given to us by Frosty Creeper 10 is that in 10th place is Frog with his franchise Instant Ribbits. In ninth place is Kel5 with his franchise Lark Paintings and Books. In 8th place is Nick Rats with the franchise Nick Coffee. In 7th place is Grumpy Goomba 9 with his franchise Goomba Redstone. 6th place is Woo Rich 999 with the franchise Rich's Fried Chicken. 5th place is Frosty Creeper 10 with the franchise Go Library. In 4th place is Mori of Mines, franchise Demeter Eatery. 3rd place. Oh, I'm reading this wrong, am I? Whoops. Sorry, that's the runner-ups I'm reading up. So not place, but runner-ups. So actually, these are what I'm reading is, that is very confusing. 3rd runner-up would be Os Buso, Cheap Clothes. 2nd runner-up is Soso with So Cafe. 1st runner-up is Soso again with Flying Taco, a different franchise. So basically, these 10 will be receiving $100. Well, assuming we can discuss this with Frosty here. And then the actual 3rd place will be Awesome Keldio with the franchise Le Bistro. In 2nd place is Castle, franchise IKEA. And in 1st place is Pineapple Perv with the franchise Pina Colada Cocktail.
What now?
So I'll be discussing with... Again, these results are what has been officially submitted from us from Frosty Creeper, but I will be talking with him to finalize these results before I continue. Okay, I think that concludes the announcements for the public portion. It is now time for the open floor and Q&A. I would like to remind folks that while we do try to encourage any sort of question or comment or concern here, if you have a question or comment regarding something that is rather complicated or could be handled offline by a staff member, please do that by email instead of asking a question here. Questions here are mainly regarding topics that have been addressed in this GSM or more general concerns that you may have about the server. And any sort of troll questions will be allowed toward the end, but please only serious questions, at least for the beginning of this portion. So if you have a question, please do not PM me the whole question. If you just want to have a chance to say something, please PM me either in-game or in Mumble, and I will note you down in a list. Once again, if you want to ask a question or comment or concern, please PM me either in game or in Mumble. Surprisingly, I've only received one so far, so
I see two.
This is a little odd.
Snowplow says, I had a question.
Alternatively, you can use the MRT News channel. You can PM Skelly, and then he'll forward it to me. If you are, well, if you're just watching, I guess if you wouldn't be, you could just PM me directly. But if you're just watching the stream, you can just do it that way. Felix, Jan, that is not an appropriate question for this GSM. If you want to talk about the B Road, you should send an email with a screenshot of that. Okay, I have 2 questions so far. Three questions. Okay, I'm going to start with these 3, and if you have any further, be sure to PM me. Okay, let's start up with Autobus.
Yeah, okay, it has come to my attention that I think it was last GSM there were some new rules in regards to rail ownership when towns built around existing rail lines by third parties. I have a question about that, if that's possible.
Yep.
So basically, there is a little thing now. You say touching the tracks for the people is not allowed, but we don't own land around it as the rail company. There's one grey area there. That's the clearance for the trains on tracks, the height and width needed for the clearance for the trains. How is that regulated in those rules?
Yep. Obvious. I think it seems kind of obvious, but I guess I'll reiterate it. Like, obviously, if someone's going to build a town around someone's rail and they block your trains or make it physically not possible to go through, then that's not cool. So that's not allowed.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Just gonna add a few more people here.
Just a heads up in case anyone's wondering, we've just had to lock the status spreadsheet for a little bit. We will be unlocking it after the meeting is over. Staff can see incidents or the details in /s.
Okay, next up is a question from Cyamethyst. I actually have the question here. Regarding Pancake Place, Cyamethyst just got it, but there's some questions from basically Mercury is currently contesting that as a banned player. Essentially, Mercury is banned from the server, and he has no say on where that thing can go. So, as far as I'm concerned, Cyamethyst, Pancake Place is yours to do with. So. Next question, Skelly Zomperman.
Okay, so regarding the featured pages queue, will it be public for all members to see, or will it be a private thing that only staff may see?
To start off, I think we'll just keep it private for now, just to see what kind of pages we select. Obviously, there's already a difference in opinion amongst staff about which page works well. So I want to see. I personally want to see how well this sort of system will work. If we find that maybe it could also use some for at least, or either if members can also look at that doc, or even perhaps suggest new featured pages, then we'll consider that at a later date. Hope that answers your questions, Kelly. Okay.
Assassinated.
Okay, next question. Oh, I just died in game. I've been assassinated. The Secret Service failed.
I think it was more an inside job.
I don't know.
I see now.
You died and then he died twice.
I actually had one question that I sent in DM.
Well, the city-state of Catania is very crafty.
Okay, staff, please don't kill each other. This is... And please don't kick each other either. That's not nice.
I didn't do anything. I'm not worried about it.
Okay. Next up is a question from Creeper. Creeper may not be even in here, but I don't remember. I might have to look.
Which
up his...
Because there's two.
Crepper in Minecraft.
Underscore Crepper. Yeah. Or Crep. Yeah. Underscore Crepper underscore. Hey, Crepper, can someone tell Crepper to ask his question again?
Right, let me do it.
Thanks. His question is, are anvils a drivable surface for U-cars? I think they're not. Or maybe they are. Maybe they are.
No, anvils do not work with U-cars. You can, however, if you need warp train crossings and such, use the jump blocks and or the teleport blocks if an admin is willing to help you for the U-cars.
Or just not have anvil for a couple of blocks because you don't need them for warp trains.
Okay. Okay, so so anvils are not allowed. Guys, please don't keep asking the same, just for people PMing, please just say that you want to ask a question. Don't keep PMing the same question, because I will get to you when it is your turn. So Soso's question, I think it's one question is, are Christmas contest proposals still allowed after this GSM? I mean, if you have a competition that you want to run, you can propose it. Though it is getting toward the end of November. So if you do have a contest, you should probably propose it sooner rather than later. And the next question is, so are bone blocks a drivable surface for U-cars? I don't know.
Probably best to test these things yourself.
Yes.
If you want the page for you, send an email. And good reason as well. Don't just say why.
Okay. Next up. Felix Jan has an actual legitimate question, which I've lost somewhere. I guess I'm gonna come back to him because Felix, can you ask your question again? What will be the future of the Mail Center? That's more of a question directed to the director of the Mail Center, Mr. Thomas Fife.
Hello. Mail Center, yeah. So we opened it up after the whole sort of lag machine, and I don't know, we need people with like actual redstone skills to help sort of rebuild those broken systems, but yeah, the Mail Center is going to hang around, and if it becomes useful again, then sure, it's still a place to send like parcels and stuff, so yeah, We're just
more
gonna
of a
let it be.
legacy thing these days,
Yeah.
anyway.
It's more of a museum piece.
Okay, cool. I mean, there are 2 mail centers now because there's still the old one and the old world too.
A relic, a ruin to go visit.
Yeah. Okay, next up is Alfie Pops. His question is, I'm gonna look it up here. The question is, are personal questions allowed, or do they have to be relevant to everyone? I'm not sure what exactly you mean by that question. Are you asking?
It's like it's like only like like applicable to like like the questions like am I breaking the rules or like like it's only like applicable to you. I guess that's what he or she means.
If it's only applicable to you, should probably hold off and ask some staff afterwards.
Yeah, if you want to reveal information about yourself that, I mean, we can't. It depends on what kind of information it is. The rule is actually not. It doesn't mean personal question. It means personally identifiable information, which means that if that information can be used to get even more information, like identify yourself. So, for example, what school you go to, or what city you live in, or your last name, or your phone number, or your email address, like that, like those sort of things.
I think he more meant by personal questions. He more meant specific. So, saying Matheson or the mayor of Matheson has been active for 3 months. Can I submit a claim? Right.
How is that a personal? How's that a personal question though?
Is personal as in it affects only that person because they're interested in getting it, rather than a question for that about the whole.
That's not usually what I would call my definition of a personal question, but my definition would be information about your real life, like your real life self. So
yeah, I think it's a bit of a bad phrasing there.
Yeah, is it Alfie? Does that answer your? Is that what you meant? Feel free to PM me in game or in Mumble to maybe re-clarify your question. Oh, yep. He's just PMing. Apologies for the phrasing. Gods got it. I see. Okay.
Yeah, if it's something in server and all that just affects you, just message your nearest friendly admod.
Or the unfriendly one, I don't care.
Like my definition of personal question is like, what's your real first name or something like that, what's your birthday or that sort of thing. Might have missed some people, but the next up is time to make my move. I'm not sure if where you're watching, but could you ask your question now in game, I believe? For all I know, it might not even be Thomas. Time to make my move. If you are listening on this, please ask your question.
No, I don't think he's here.
He was.
He's in Minecraft for sure.
No, as in like not in Mindball.
Okay, here's the question. Who owns franchise in their town? The town owner or the franchise owner?
Can I ask a question?
I believe we answered it a while ago, but yeah.
The town mayor has overall authority on what goes in the town. So, i.e., towns, houses, blah, 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 and so on. They have a say if the franchise can stay there or not. And if they want to make changes to the franchise, they also have the right to. If the franchise owner wants to make a change to something, then they need to at least notify the town mayor first. Because, again, the town mayor has over authority. That doesn't mean they own the shop. They just own the area to the shop. So imagine they're like the landlord to it. So you need to talk town mayor before making any changes. And if the town mayor wants to say like get rid of something, they have the right to do it, but they need to notify you first.
You made
as
one
well.
little mistake there, Robin. You said that the town owner can make a change to the franchise. And it goes the same as like
franchise.
yeah, you said that, but it's basically like being a landlord again. You've got to notify the person if you want to do something.
Yeah. They can't steal the franchise and say that they own the franchise. No, they can't do that.
Yeah, basically. Oh, right.
But in the end, the mayor has the right to whatever goes on in their town. As long as they notify each other, it's fine.
Yeah. So basically talk to each other before you make any changes. That probably sums it up. I'm getting some really stupid questions from some people about, can I plagiarize a franchise? Well, obviously no, because there's now a no plagiarism rule on the server. So.
What if I plagiarize before the rule is added to the website?
The rule's in effect now. It's been announced.
Well, so just to clarify, you can
One can theoretically make the argument.
Just to clarify, you can copy real-world franchises. So, say you want to do a McDonald's, that's absolutely fine. But it's plagiarizing as in seeing a Minecraft build online and copying it block for block. You're more than welcome to recreate a real-world franchise.
How about like those like simple tutorials, you know, like by like Magma Musin and like those kind of things?
If you build something that somebody else has built block by block, or had it copy and paste from a server that somebody else built, you need to give them the credit. You don't give them the credit, then that is plagiarizing.
Does that answer your question? Time to make my move.
Alright, I'm gonna go now, so.
Bye.
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 I've received a reply from Time, but I'm gonna assume that he's got it. I've run. Okay, so I'm at the end of my queue for questions. So again, if you have any questions, concerns, complaints, comments,
odd questions.
So your volume's very low, but if you want to ask something, go ahead.
I think it's time for 10 questions.
Is it the time for the random questions now?
Hang on, guys, let Soso ask first. He was asking a question.
So if it's proposed after the GSM, will they still be sponsored by the staff?
It depends on what your competition is. So if we find that it is worthy to be sponsored by staff as a staff event, or a server event, then we will let you know of that. So
we'll have to discuss it outside of the GSM, basically, if it is for Christmas.
Yeah, that might be a little more difficult because usually the best time to discuss these sort of things is at a GSM. So don't expect any approval or even a response, even because the discussion will have to be done by email among staff.
I think you've got a question in chat there from Time to Make My Move.
Okay. Time's question is, what is the policy on using the media channel? Don't abuse it. It should be used for actual in-game advertisements for your own franchises, companies, or cities or towns. Or your own media companies. That is what it should be used for. I've noticed that people have been using media for inappropriate ways, and I would like to see that. I would like to see a decrease in those inappropriate usages. So.
All right. May I ask a question?
Who is that? Sorry.
High Tech. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
So my question is: are the UCAR drivable blocks changeable or programmable?
They are changeable. However, I'm generally reluctant of adding more UCAR drivable blocks for a couple of reasons. One is it does add a little bit of extra computation time on part of UCars to do that. But it's probably not much, but it does add up. And also too, because as you add more blocks, it does allow more UCars to get stuck in buildings made of that same material. So, for example, if I made a building made out of, I don't know, quartz or something, yeah. What will happen is you can actually add UCars pretty much on any block in that building, and that's not great. So I would rather keep the number of drivable blocks to a minimum. So we originally started with wool when there was no clay, and then now we've at least expanded to that. But outside of that, I'd rather not add any more drivable blocks.
Can we just get an ability to like spawn in like super speed horses instead of UCars? Because I find that UCars are like very like glitchy. I think it's like.
So the reason why we have UCars is it thematically fits with the server because we have roads, we have modern transportation. UCars, yes, it is a glitchy plugin, and it is, in my opinion, it is probably one of the worst plugins I've ever seen in terms of being updated and having features and in the bugs it demonstrates. But it does work for the most part, and there aren't any other similar plugins like it. So that is why we have it.
Ultimately, if you want to ride a horse around instead, feel free. Horse and speed 2 is pretty much as fast.
Ever since 1.12, you basically can't turn a corner.
Yeah, but UCars decides to make everyone fly.
Is there a way to make horses faster?
Speed 2 potion.
Yeah. There is also the speed command. I'm not sure if that'll affect horses or not. Probably not. But if you want to get somewhere fast, you can just use the speed command now.
You can also just fly.
I'm a bit concerned about the speed command. Like, the fastest way to travel currently is like flying with speed 10, but I'm a bit concerned about like the chunk loading and things. I'm not sure. Does it affect the chunks?
Ignore Robin's comment. It does affect chunk loading, but what we've done is we've basically limited. There's a speed limit on how fast you can run. So for members, your speed is basically cut in half of the maximum. So if we had kept it at the maximum, then that would be a big problem because, with people moving around, that would load and unload a whole bunch of chunks. But with the speed limit we have, it is actually pretty manageable.
Plus, other speed 10 is pretty uncontrollable as well.
It's so fast. You don't know what's going on.
It's like I think I could get from Central Park to Segville in 10 seconds, which is quite quick.
Soso has a suggestion. I should propose making speed an AAST for members too. That's never going to happen because that would allow new members to possibly abuse those things. That is why it is for trustees and above only.
Wait, can I ask something?
Yes.
What does AST do?
That is
armor stand tools, which is modifying armor stands. It's just a shortened version of /armor stand tools.
I see.
Very useful plugin.
Okay. Alright, so I think we're transitioning into stupid questions unless anyone has any further serious questions.
I have a question.
Yes.
Without turning around, how many agents are behind you?
I don't know. There are no agents. It's a question.
Not counting the invisible ones, of course.
Okay.
It's actually 14.
Whatever.
That doesn't count the invisible ones because
it's
the
for your own
KIN is
safety.
very crafty.
Okay, I'm having difficulty whether these are serious or stupid questions, but I'm going to list them out. Hold on.
Probably a little bit of both.
They're seriously stupid questions.
Stupidly serious?
One of the two.
Yep.
Wouldn't that mean it was really serious?
No, because that would be stupid. Oh wait. Oh, okay.
Okay, first up is Captain Chimpy. Actually, do a J-Apple also as well. I'll put you on the list.
Hello, Yoshi.
Yoshi.
Captain Chimpy. Captain Chimpy's question is, what's the default value for speed? I'm not sure what that means.
1.
1, yes. 1 is the... Yeah.
It's almost a multiplication of your original speed.
Yep. Fred has 3 questions. He's going to PM me and mumble for that, so let's wait for that. First question. How much stuff can you stuff in what? How much stuff can you stuff in a stuffy till your stuffy's stuffed enough stuff?
I believe the answer is some stuff.
I think you should stuff it, Fred.
About one snuggie.
What a tongue twister that is. Oh my.
She sells seashells on the seashore.
Next question.
Oh, I saw that episode. Not sure what your other... Oh, everyone has so many questions. Second question is, what if the haters dab back? I don't know.
Dab harder.
Dab harder.
You dab harder.
Actually,
I've never dabbed.
I'd probably ban him. Anyway, and third question is, what do you call everyone's favorite gorilla?
Harambe?
King Kong.
Hey.
What?
No.
I think I want to go back to sleep because of this. Okay, well...
Of course Thomas puts the Interior Space Agency as this week's featured page.
Otto, do you have a more interesting question?
Well, I have an announcement that Rolling Station 100 opened in Whiteley a few days ago.
What's your question?
I love native advertising.
He just wanted to advertise his own station, so yep.
Okay.
Ask a question about it at least. See if Rumpel knows something about it.
Probably don't.
Where is it, Rumpel?
I don't know. Okay, there are too many questions flying in, so I might be missing some here, but I'm assuming they're all stupid, so it doesn't matter.
Wait, are the results of the naming the lakes contest, whatever it was called, is that done yet?
Yes.
No.
It was at the beginning of the public section.
Ow.
So, at one at a time. So I'll. Felix.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. So basically, a good portion of the lakes were named. A lot of them were unnamed because there were not enough good suggestions, or they were contested because there were several suggestions and we couldn't choose between either one. So if you have any further suggestions for these lakes, we will continue for any of the rest of the lakes. You can continue to submit suggestions for those, and we might consider those at the next GSM. But yeah, no, it's an ongoing process.
Did my thing get approved? Like I think I suggested for like the bay north of my town to be called the East Mount Bay. Did that get approved?
No.
Not sure off the top of my head. It will all be on the website in a couple of days.
Yep. Okay. Wow, there's so many questions. Okay, Crepper _ has a question about the world edit. Can certain ranks be limited to world edit perms? Unfortunately, no. And even
/calc.
Well, there's commands that you can. There are commands that you can limit by ranks, but you can't limit like have like world block limits for each rank, for example.
Actually, we could. There isn't that.
Well,
Yeah, as I said before, you actually can, but sure.
Okay, regardless of that, I'm never going to do that because we're giving world edits to the members at large would be a recipe for disaster, and I'm not going to do that.
We like Central Park because it is, thanks.
Can we have like a world edit? Like, can we have like people like only like apply to use world edit, and then like only people like a few people at a time are allowed?
Nope.
To use it?
If you want to pretend you can use world edit, go to world edit school.
Or just run around with a wooden axe in your hand. But like actual access to world edit is staff only, and will be staff only until the end of time.
Let me
just use // cow. You actually did a world edit there, even though it doesn't feel like it.
Okay.
Or download the entire MRT world and put it on your own server with world edit.
I'm actually not like really like used to world edit, because actually most of the time when I play single player, I say this all the time to the staff members because I'm very clumsy with world edit. I say I only know vanilla /fill and /clone commands.
That's literally what world edit school is for.
You can install world edit on single player. It is possible. That's why I built Division Street.
Yeah, there is a Forge version.
I think we need another secret highway to Central City.
Okay.
Please don't.
Okay. On a serious note, though, basically, whenever a new mod is promoted and they're given world edit, 9 times out of 10 they are going to make an accident, and they're going to make a boo boo.
24 hours in my case.
Yeah, it's kind of a rite of passage even at this point. So, if you think about that, if world edit was given to everyone, or even at least a small portion, of the members, you can see how much trouble that's going to be. So please keep that in mind.
Okay.
There are a lot of questions. Let's go with Aldrancer50 has a question. Can there be sports league in MRT? E.g. football, not American?
That already.
I mean, if you want to set up your own, you're free to do so. There's nothing stopping you from doing that. Time to make my move has a question. Do you think we could hold a raffle for a certain town hosting a GSM every month?
We just picked one 5 minutes before, honestly.
Yeah, literally for me it was just where should we place the GSM mod table into? I know, Whitechapel Stadium.
You should hold it on an airplane.
We may do one day.
Yes.
Maybe next.
Hold it on. Perfect A380
do
for
it
that.
in the
Next
regional
question.
Connect headquarters.
Do a GSM and an MRT station.
I will say I would prefer to keep the GSM as neutral as possible. So no, Kitty, we're not going to sponsor your airline to hold the GSM in there.
Hold it on the regional Connect headquarters, which is a A380 flying over sea lane.
Next
That
question.
actually isn't a bad idea, considering regional Connect is like... Who's now?
Next question.
It's mine. Regional Connect is mine.
Okay. Skelly says there's a silly question from Burn Cow. What is your silly question?
He asks, tacos or quesadillas?
That's a hard one. I like both of them.
What is the answer then?
Oh
but
quesadillas, isn't it?
but tacos has a very slight edge because they're tacos.
I still think to this day I have never eaten a taco.
Right.
Really, gods? Really?
Yeah.
/BANGODZILLTRAIN space. Oh, whatever.
Simple.
Yes.
No power is died artist question because he needs to go to bed.
Who? What now? What?
So died artist question because he needs to go to bed.
What is your question? What?
Today I learned of APs, of how AP went to Taco Bell.
His question was... Oh, never mind. He already pasted it in again.
Which taco is better, a flying taco or running jumping taco? Considering I've never seen either of them, I cannot answer that question. I'm going to give you a serious answer for a silly question.
Probably neither, because in either case they would be trying to get away from your mouth.
Okay. Jesus. Kitty has a question?
Yes. How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck broke his teeth in a bicycle accident?
7.
What is that?
Precisely 64.
1 stack.
I think you should.
You're just losing IQ points by listening to this portion of the GSM.
Yes, I am too. This is. Yep.
Chief, 64 is definitely Zoo Lane, not a stack.
That's a serious question.
Here's a
get that reference.
Here's a serious question from Fred the Time Lord. This, what are your opinions on the new Minecraft updates? I think I've said this several times before. I really do not like the direction Minecraft is going, especially with their new edition. It looks like they're not really supporting Java Edition anymore.
That's what I thought. Minecon was very disappointing. It's like very like commercialized and like, you know.
1.13 is going to be hell essentially because they're changing the block syntax. Data values are dead.
Then again, who
No
doesn't
more
want
game
dolphins?
mode S or game mode 0. You have to type in game mode survival.
I mean, no, because /GM is a essentials command, so I assume essentials will still support numbers.
Yeah, you can't do /GM in vanilla.
But then all plugins would have to
I
update
think
with the
there's
new
gonna
block
be some-
syntaxes as well, meaning, oh god.
Yeah,
It's
there's
gonna be
gonna
pain,
probably be some longer downtime for most plugins.
Okay, so
They announced that they were going to be getting rid of ID values as numbers in like 1.6, and they haven't actually done it until 1.13.
Neither, Chief, they're both.
Hang on. We're still on this one question.
okay, so
Numerical values.
can I?
Like, they're like really easy to use.
Phoenix,
Shut up!
Phoenix, shut up!
Okay, so this is the first time I've actually heard of this, but I do wonder maybe they might be doing this to make Java Edition closer to the whatever new edition they have now. So yeah, so they might be doing that to try to connect and be able to connect between those editions. I'm kind of glad that the update has taken this long, so at least I don't have to deal with any updates or anything. But yeah, same sort of deal. If that update hits, if the plugins aren't working, then we may not have update to that edition for quite a while. Yeah. Okay. Chief's question is the S or C silent in the word sent? I don't know.
The C is silent. Otherwise, it would be Kent.
No, it's sent, or sent.
Sent.
Like, I sent an email.
It's sent.
What? Why don't we just agree that both are half spoken? Okay, that's a compromise. Okay.
Captain Chimpy has a question. What is the distance between Chief's fist and the nearest wall?
It depends how close the nest is.
What? No, I'm sitting in a room and the wall's like I'm next to the wall. Yeah, I could punch it. Ow! My residents are probably going to be mad at me about that.
Make it up 6 inches.
Worth it.
And that's so cheap.
Did you just actually punch your wall?
Yes.
This is...
Drop out of college.
For those that don't understand this reference, this is a reference to a very long time ago GSM, where Chief did in fact punch a wall. So.
By the way, though, Chief, don't forget you are a trial admin, and punching walls isn't really admin behaviour.
I'm also an RA and trying not to anger my residents right now, so let's not do that again.
He was like, for science, and punches the wall.
Please, just go on the website and search
Science,
for wall punch and search for wallpunch.ogg if you're curious.
Got a few more questions here. Oh, sorry. So Sesh Penguin asks, these are actually some of these are serious. Have you seen the Protocol Support P plugin? Yes, I am aware of that plugin. I do not install it on this server, at least for versions, because I don't see the point of it. Players should be able to change their own versions, and it's just dumbfounding me that people complain whenever we don't update because they don't know how to. So, Alfie Pops asked the question, where did you think of the name Frumple? That is a reference that I'm not going to reveal here. I know people probably have figured that out themselves, but
his real name is Paul, though.
I really don't think people are going to figure it out now.
It's pretty obscure.
It's obscure, but it's findable. Next question. Time to make my move. Ask on Christmas. Can you set the weather to snow? Unfortunately, no, because that is dependent on what biome you're in. So it's either I turn on precipitation or not, and if I do turn it on, it will either be rain in some places or snow in others. Also, snow will accumulate while this is happening, and that might affect some builds. So I would rather not do that.
So it's probably best to just
set
do
the
P weather
biome
right.
into like a snow biome in your town, and then when you do P weather, it'll snow.
Yeah, P
Change all
weather.
the server in a mountain biome.
Alfie has a question. Is Frumple from dash Paul, as in Paul the name? No, that is not correct.
Well, not that you want to reveal anyway.
Yep.
Oh, not this again.
Considering that most of the questions are now probably silly, I'm just gonna go to bed right now.
So,
yes.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye, Tech.
Alright, bye.
Are there any further questions?
I think
Well,
P-
you missed me.
Who?
No.
Oh, do it? Yep.
Yes.
What's your question?
So regarding to the U cars thing. So, how about the black concrete?
Concrete is already allowed right now. Yeah. Actually,
okay.
For these questions, it's best to just check yourself rather than asking individually.
yeah, you can always do it yourself and see if it's drivable. Felix asks, will you do a face reveal? I'm actually I'm not sure if I am, but I'm thinking of maybe doing streaming again, but I'm not sure when. So
Yoshi has a question.
Yoshi, what's your question?
Favorite iteration of Central Park?
First one.
Favorite iteration of Central Park?
First one.
To be honest, I don't remember a lot of them, so yeah, first one I guess would be my default answer. Okay, there's so many questions coming. I'm just gonna lightning round these. Okay, on Mumble, I'll read these first. Castle asks, how much do you hate the Orville? I've actually not watched it. I've watched Star Trek Discovery. I'm kind of on the fence about it. The characters are interesting, but the story is kind of meh in the setting, so yeah, Orville, maybe I'll watch sometime. SBDev asks, what is the first name you can think of off the top of your head? I don't know. I can't answer that one. Okay, now going in-game. Eldranster50 asks, can you please lower the speed of U-Cars since it's crazily fast? That's kind of the point of U-Cars. So if I lowered it, I'd probably get complaints, but people saying it's too slow. Elfie Pops asks, what's your favorite airport? The regional airport back on the old world. The old one, not the one that's there right now. Pineapple Perv asks, Frumple, why does your voice sound like the chimes from heaven?
That's a good question.
I don't know. I am God on this server, so I guess, yeah.
Have you considered SMR Frumple?
Fred asks, hey Frumple, have you ever ridden Fred Rail or been to one of my famous stations? I probably have, but I don't remember. Because I was too brainwashed from all the advertising.
Don't tell him that, Frumple, it will continue.
Eldrancer asks, can you make it so U-Cars don't fly off edges when going downhill? I can't really do anything about it. It's all programmed in the U-Cars plugin. You'd have to bring that up with the U-Car developer if they even bother updating it. Cortese has a question. But while I'm getting that question, Captain Chimpy asks, do you prefer Apple, Microsoft, or Google? They're all pretty bad nowadays, so I can't really say. Kitty has a question. Frumple, what is your stance on MHF's questions candidacy for owner? There is no such candidacy. I don't know what you're talking about. Alfie Pop says, what phone do I have? I have an Android.
By the way, Frumple, what was your thinking of the recommendation of the trustee meeting earlier?
There was a recommendation? I didn't know there was a trustee meeting.
Yeah, I threw your book at you.
Cortez asks, Frumple, Eastern Airways, or Interair? I don't care about airlines. Yeah, whatever.
Delta.
Yoshi asks, what's the oldest memory you have of the server?
Opening it?
Probably either opening it or placing down the first, or like in MC at it, placing down the very first blue line station.
It probably depends on whether you count setup before as the server, because it would have been in a single player.
Technically, it is part of the server, so I mean, yeah, when I first actually worked on it. Felix asks, Frumple fave browser. I like Chrome. I use it all the time. I have 3 Gmail accounts, so I mean, I kind of have to use it.
Have you seen the recent update to Firefox, how it's completely changed its UI?
Yeah, I don't bother with Firefox anymore nowadays. Captain Chippy asks, do you approve of the extreme lag inflicted on to customers visiting one of Castle's IKEAs? I'm not sure if that's a serious question, but if it's causing lag, that's not good. Alfie Pop says, what computer do you have, monitor specs? I'm actually transitioning to a new computer right now. I'm probably going to work on it later today. So I can't really give you an answer to that one. Such Penguin asks, do you approve of Linux? Yep. Actually, this server runs Debian 8. So, yeah.
Don't OVH charge like double if you want to run Windows?
They can, yeah. But even then, it's just way easier just to manage a server by using Linux, because that's what most servers, most serious servers do. Pineapple for that, will you do a computer building video? Actually, I was building my computer yesterday. I don't want to record it though. It's already done. So, AP Red Frumple, do you use Rail-Link at all? No.
Why?
Oh no!
And there goes Autobus's time.
Can someone translate, please?
What the heck is going on here?
Felix asks, will you make an MRT V6 Frumple? Probably not. I mean, unless I get the spark to build things in Minecraft again, maybe. But
I saw a lot of third-party rail lines. I think the stations actually work better. I mean, like.
Well, again, keep in mind V5 was made at least 2 years ago, so.
Before Epsilon, before Gamma opened, so it would have been almost 3
2013.
Now,
yeah.
So 4 years ago.
4 years ago.
So, quite over 4 years ago, yeah.
It doesn't seem that long.
I know, right? It's like we've been here for ages, most of us, and it's like,
yeah,
that's 4 years.
Why are you all still here?
I think Chief had a realization earlier that we. Yeah, I think me and Chief had a realization earlier that we've both been on the server for over a quarter of our lives.
How young are you people?
21 in a couple months.
Yeah.
I'm 21, so.
Yeah, same.
21.
The weird thing is, when I first got into Minecraft, I was like 25-ish, I think. And back then, this was like Minecraft Alpha beta days. And the demographic of people in Minecraft was my age group, like 20 to 30. And then as Minecraft got a lot more popular, that demographic has slowly gradually become younger and younger.
I think before Minecraft kind of fleshed out a bit, it was only really developers that would have been interested in it, so.
Yeah, so whenever I describe the server to my real life friends, I'll say mostly 10 to 18-year-olds on here, sometimes even younger. So, yeah.
And sometimes even older.
We actually have a few people in their 20s.
There's quite a few people in their 20s on the server.
Yeah.
We don't talk about the old people here.
Hey.
Oh, we do. I'm one of those. I'm the one that has to deal with all these kids on my server. Get off my lawn.
What was it you compared it to earlier, Franco?
Oh my goodness.
Oh no.
Sorry, Frumpo, what was it you compared the server to earlier?
And oh yes. I compared this server to a nursery or a daycare.
So Frumple, after taking care
Lovely.
of all the children here, are you gonna have some yourself?
Absolutely not.
Denied.
To be honest,
I mean, he's even had the financial obligations of kids, so no.
Oh, good.
yeah. I mean, I don't regret starting this server, but I mean, it does
But I do.
to the point where I don't play Minecraft anymore. It's just become a more of a management sort of thing, which it's sometimes fun. Like, I mean, I can make things like to hold these meetings or make like the status page or the file server and all that. That's kind of fun, but I don't know.
Hey.
Frumple, do you dislike a server that I may not well, I'll say it, Wolfhaven? No, I do not. I'm going to be pretty public about this and I think most people know, for some reason, Wolfhaven, a lot of people on Wolfhaven don't like us, and I believe, I don't know who was it some staff member was thinking of doing some sort of cross server event, but apparently that's not going to happen because of their animosity towards us. To be honest, though, there are a lot of players who have been banned on the MRT who now play on Wolfhaven, so that kind of explains a bit of it there.
And the other way around as well, to be by the way.
I think that's a little less. That happens less, but yeah.
We have like 8 members that are banned on Wolfhaven for various reasons.
There are definitely a lot of members who are banned on both by now, but yeah.
Yeah, I think we should start up a new MTA.
If you
banished from both the MRT and Wolfhaven.
Hey, if you want to go start that up, go ahead. I think I even saw Hawks and Mustang visit once, maybe a month ago. So they're still around somewhere.
Yeah. Yep.
I did see them.
I remember seeing Infinity on the MTA. His town had like a shrine to him being banned on the MRT.
I remember that.
And,
Yeah, the
and Solars said that everyone on the MTA considered that an embarrassment.
Okay.
The last I saw Hawks is like last
And then eventually
Christmas, so
Infinity
maybe
was
he'll be
banned from
back.
the MTA.
Okay, here's some more questions. Alfie Pops asks, have you had any further thoughts on selling or closing the server? So I have renewed the server. I did announce on Discord. I have renewed the server for a year, so at least I'm committing to keeping this server on for that long. After that, I don't know. Selling the server, I think I would not, because frankly, I'm running this server at a total loss, and I expect that. So I don't be really selling the server. I'd be just giving the whole thing away, pretty much. I don't know if I'd be comfortable with that, because the person who I'd be selling to would have to have, I would have to have confidence and they would be able to handle it and not drive this whole thing to the ground, and also have technical expertise to run all the things that run behind the scenes on the server. So yeah, probably not in the cards for a bit. I will mention, though, that as per my Discord comment recently regarding all the arguments and stuff, I am pretty serious about that, though. Like, even though I've paid for the server, if it turns out that it becomes way too stressful, or there's some sort of incident where, I don't know, half the server like engages in a humongous argument or something like that, then I will probably shut down the server at least for a few days or a week or so, or maybe forever, if I find that's too much. Yeah.
Remember, guys,
Can I ask
it's just a game.
Can I ask a somewhat serious question?
Sure.
My lab has gotten so big with stuff I still sell quite frequently and stations I'm still making and pasting in, that people are getting to have trouble navigating around all the sections of stores in my lab. Is it allowed to make a little bus line that stops at like 4 points in the lab to like get to the corners because of its size?
That seems like a big can of worms that I don't think I can answer that question right now. Because
I mean, like there are multiple people who have like shuttle buses between areas of their lab, and it's not really that big of a deal.
I wasn't aware people made buses to their labs. That's not technically
not to their labs. It's for larger labs with a lot of stuff to get around the different parts of it.
Like Tech has that.
It's buses within their labs, Rumble, not buses to their labs.
Okay. It's definitely something that I will probably want to discuss at the next GSM. So
put that on a list.
Another thing that's on my mind is I know that we expand the lab world, but I would like to maybe see some sort of cleanup of some of the existing stuff. So at least maybe we can at least free up some space and all that. So I don't know how or when that would happen.
Suggesting option D.
Well, I think we'd have to almost open a new lab and have the two overlapping for a couple of months. Then after that, we'll just get rid of the old one.
That is an option, but I'm saying we could try. I'm saying that we could at least try to clean up some of the existing stuff in the existing world right now.
Wasn't a new lab world like gonna happen like 2 years ago?
That was the idea, but I think we instead just expanded what was there.
Because I remember at the it was like at the same GSM that Thomas got demoted from admin. And it was like, we're gonna have a new lab world within like 6 weeks.
Yeah, I think you might have misheard. Just I don't remember committing to that. So,
well, it didn't happen.
It didn't happen. I don't expect it. Alfie Pops asks, would you consider letting trustees create warps and/or warp signs? Personally, I feel like Counselor makes more sense because by that point you at least have a town to like connect to. So, yeah.
Ultimately, the main focus on the server is building towns. We don't want people getting trustee and then just focusing on an airline, really. We want people to focus on building towns, ultimately.
Yep. I mean, you could start building a town and then go off and not build it anymore and build your transportation network. That's fine, but I think you should at least try to make a town.
From Paul, will you offer the server folder for download folder for plugins and junk and all that? Will you offer it for download if it ever closes?
Are you you do know that the worlds are available, right? Already? Some people might not know.
I just the reason why I asked that is so that I'm not very good at setting up plugins and all that, so we can just open it up and it'll be exactly like the original server at home.
Plugins don't work on single player though.
Yeah, they don't.
You can run the server jar on your computer, and if you don't configure your firewall port forwarding or whatever, then you can just play it on
I think
local
you might
hosts.
have
There's
a little.
lot more. Yeah, there's a bit more to it than that, unfortunately.
I mean, you can just run a server off your computer and then in Minecraft just connect to localhost. I've done that before.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
meant.
but
That's
for
what
the
I meant.
MRT server, I think that's not gonna work because of RAM and storage amounts.
Yeah, there's a lot that happens behind the scenes.
I'm a little reticent of. I can't just copy what's in the plugin folder because there is actually some. There can be some personal information there. For example, Essentials holds information about players, IPs, and also money amounts, and their home warps and stuff like that. So I want to be careful of that. I'm going to say that I'm going to answer the question. I think it's unlikely that'll happen. So.
Okay.
Okay, so
After
it is
over 4 hours. We're pretty much done.
It's actually 5 hours.
5 is it?
It's well, we start at 4 a.m. It's now 9 a.m. my time.
Yeah, midday to 5 for me.
So, does anyone
that early in the morning to host this?
It was where I wanted to do it because I did want Heaven and Alec and Lala and any other people in that time zone to be able to attend this. I think it has been an interesting learning experience. I don't think I'd be doing it. I think I want to say I won't do it again, but I think it's something that definitely won't be done often. But one of the benefits I do see is the attendance of the GSM, because I don't know, we just hit the server lit for some reason.
It may happen every 6 months or so, but probably not more often than that.
Yeah, we may also try other times too and see how well that works. So, does anyone have any last questions or comments?
Delete the HVT's engine channel. Lala kinda left it there, and we can't delete it. Yeah. Mods can only delete channels they make.
Delete. Oh, the Mumble channel.
Yeah.
Where?
In the vent.
Oh, why is that there?
Earlier this week, Lala made HVT a personalized AFK channel.
Okay. Anything else?
This is why you make channels temporary.
What are you gonna have for breakfast, Rumple?
Sorry, what was that?
What are you gonna have for breakfast?
I don't know.
Probably gonna go to sleep.
He's probably going to have lunch at this point.
Yeah, I have some stuff in the fridge. I need to sit it.
Brunch time for me.
I'm probably gonna spend the rest of the day either sleeping or setting up the rest of my new computer. So, yeah.
Paul, do you have sons or daughters, and do they go on the server if you do have them?
No, I do not have children.
He doesn't plan to either.
I would like to point out that the GSM has now been going on for 5 hours.
Nice.
Yes, and a lot of that is based on these silly questions I keep asking. So that I'm not to blame for this.
Thanks for listening, all.
I woke up at 6:30 a.m. and now to go to the GSM, and now it's noon.
Yeah, I need to go eat brunch.
Eat brunch.
Okay. All right.
Typing all the broadcasts.
I'm in Minnesota. It's called brunch.
Okay, this is the end of the general staff meeting. Thanks everyone for attending the special edition, and hopefully I'll get the results in next week or so. So yeah. All right. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Is this the longest?
Make an ASMR podcast, Rumple.
And that's it for the general staff meeting. Thank you for watching. This has been an MRT News Channel special edition.